Let's start off this video with a small activity. Can you guys please close your eyes? Imagine a single apple. Now imagine 5 of them. Now imagine 10 apples. Can you picture 10 of them? They stack next to each other, left to right. Can you double that? So basically 20 apples. Can you put them across in a new row? They're standing in a line. So you have basically say 2 rows and 10 columns. Now try picturing 100 of them, 10 rows and 10 columns. Can you imagine that they are in square in shape? We have 10 rows and 10 columns. So basically all of this will add up to 100. Now can you imagine a number like 10,000? Now can you imagine a number like 1 lakh? 1 lakh apple. Can you imagine that? It's not that simple, is it not? So please open your eyes now. We are going to learn something called as reference and perspective. This will help us understand or relate things to whatever we can imagine, basically, whatever our brain is capable of. So the agenda over here is to understand the things around us, the world, not on the surface of the earth, but beyond the surface of the earth. Not only the things that we can see, but to talk about things that we might never see, like the deepest point in the ocean, right? We have not seen that. We have sent machine or submarines and so on and so forth. They have seen, and not everyone will get an opportunity to do that. We might not all of us will surely not get an opportunity to go into International Space Station and look at Earth from that point, from that perspective. But we get to see through videos. We get to see someone else communicating to us, and that as the reference with our experience, we'll be able to relate to whatever they're talking about. That's how the world works. That's how you guys have understood things till now. You might not have realized that, but always you have understood with respect to reference and perspective. You communicate with reference to reference and perspective. If someone tells me, you know what, this is too sweet, it's almost as sweet as a jalebi, or a gulab jamun, or a rasmalai, or a rasgulla. What does it mean? It's too sweet. Or you can tell it's as spicy as something, you guys can fill that blank. It's as spicy as that dish we ate somewhere. Or if you guys have used the statements like, you know what, it's as good as dash. Maybe that kulfi that you guys ate at your favorite place. It's as good as that. When you tell that, the other person understands that, you know what, oh, this is the level at which that particular dish is there. All these are nothing but your reference and perspective. Okay. So we do use that every day, knowingly or unknowingly. That's how we communicate, because not everyone will gain the same perspective or experience as everyone else does. If you talk about, say, water park, then you tell, you know what, water park B is not as good as water park A. If you didn't have fun in water park A, high probability or high chances that you will not have fun in water park B, right? Things like that. So it's always a reference. We talk about movies in that way. Movie B is better than movie A. So if you enjoyed movie A, surely we'll enjoy movie B. Is it not? So now, using this as the basic idea, understanding the word reference and understanding the word perspective, we are going to learn big fat numbers. That is the agenda of this chapter. The whole chapter is to do with that. The whole chapter is to do with big fat numbers. So to understand big fat numbers, we need to have some reference and perspective. It makes it easy. So here we're going to learn the word perspective and reference, and we're going to have few examples to understand that. Right. So The two key concepts that we're going to understand over here is reference and perspective. What is reference? Reference is nothing but, the basic idea is that it's a benchmark or a standard against which other things are measured. Like I gave you an example of, it's as sweet as jalebi. Means what? It's kind of too sweet. At least for me, it is so. For you guys, it might be something else, maybe something else is more sweeter. It might be sweeter, basically. For me, jalebi itself is sweet enough. It's kind of too sweet for me as of now, because I kind of stopped eating sugar. So yeah, any kind of thing, jalebi is far better than quite a few other sweets out there. Anyways, that apart, definition. Reference is a fixed or a known point used for comparison. That's the definition. Again, all of this is reflecting what we already discussed. Example, jalebi example. Your scale ruler is reference for length. Right? You use tape. So if I tell it's 1 meter long, you guys can take a tape out and measure 1 meter. And you will understand that, oh, he was talking about this and this is how long it is. Say I have a board which is around, I think 5 feet long, or 6 feet long. And one more is around 7 feet long. So what you guys will do? Okay, you know that your height is around 5 feet. Maybe you guys are around 5 feet, 4 feet. And you guys can imagine 1.5 times of your height. That will be the width of my board, blackboard that I'm using. There's something called as North Star. It's a star, right? The night sky star, that is. It was used and it is used to navigate. So again, all of this, I think other than the first 2 points, the third point, you guys can have a look at this. There are plenty of examples out there, right? People talking about it, using it. It's fun. So if you guys like navigation, you will like this. So just web search that. You'll get a different gain perspective. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of education. Now, perspective. Yeah, I just use that word. What is perspective? It's the bigger picture we get by using a reference point. So you understand reference point, right? Reference point is something that we know of, that we can relate to. Now, using that, we gain a different idea or a different picture. That's your perspective. So as a definition, perspective is our understanding of something size, scale, or relation to its surrounding. So now with a certain perspective, you'll be able to relate it. Like my house is as big as that person's house, your friend Kirtan's house, for example. Then you guys will understand, okay, oh, that's the size of the house. Relation. I am as close as I am to you, or let me put it in this way, sorry. I am as close as to person B as I am to you guys. That gives the level of relationship. So she is my best friend. I am as close to you as to her. So what does that mean? I'm that good a friend to her as well as to you. Right? Example, we know an elephant is big, but its true size is only clear when you see it next to a person or a car. If I just show you guys an elephant, see, elephant sizes also vary, is it not? If you guys seen, say, a long time back, like if you have seen Ice Age movies, animated movies. So I forgot the name of the movie though. Okay, so those elephants are quite big compared to what we have now. So say now the elephants say are this big, right? If I draw this, you understand that, oh, they're double of us. The same person, if they say they would have stood at an elephant which was the biggest at that point of time, say thousands of years back, the person would have been this big. So you guys can see the difference, right? The same person with two different elephants. This is with respect to the very old elephant, matlab elephant which lived a long time back. So you can see how big that is. And now the elephants are this big, say in India, right? Of course, they are bigger than this, their size variation, but again, this is an idea. So you guys got the difference, right? Does it make sense? Can you guys imagine that? Okay. Now, let's go to some concrete example. So we have Somo standing over here. If you guys can see him, he's too small over there. He's over there. He's over here. Now, reference point. Somo is 1 meter tall, around your height. You guys can imagine that he's around your height. We compare a building's height to Somo's height. Let's do that. So this is the building. Each floor is about 4 times his height. So this is one floor. This is the ground floor. The ground floor looks a bit smaller, but let's take it to be same as every other thing. So each floor is 4 times his height. So his height is what? 1 meter. So this will be 4 meter. So each is 4 meter high. So each of this is 4 meter high. Okay. What is the approximate height of the building? So according to, one floor is 4 times his Somo's height. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or better way to count is 3. See, that's faster. 3. So 3 is a 9 plus 2. We have 11. So basically 44 times Somo's height. So what you guys can imagine is making Somo's height people stand on each other 44 times. Like there's one Somo over here, one more on him, one more on him, so on and so forth. 44 Somos should stand on each other. Then we get the entire building. Since Somo's height is 1 meter, so this is basically 44 meter tall building. Right? I can tell the height of the building in two forms. That is, I'll tell. So the building is 44 meters, 44 times the Somo's height. Or I can tell 44 meters. So a person who does not understand meters, say for my granny, she will not understood meters, but she will understand reference. If I tell he is taller than me, she understands how tall he is or she is. Is it not? So it helps. Like here we spoke of each floor is about 3-4 times higher. For example, our school buildings generally they are 4 times higher. Each floor, say it will be 4 times higher as you guys. But if you go to hotel rooms now, wherein there is AC but not fan, it is around 3 times higher. There's a reason for that, but the ceiling is a bit lower than generally the house ceiling or the school ceiling. Why is that? It's kind of a obvious reason if you understand why. But yeah, you guys can ask that question. It's pretty interesting question. So question is this: hotel rooms, most of the fancy hotel rooms, let me put it this way, are 3 times Somo's height, not 4 times. While the buildings in, say, in your house or school buildings, each floor is 4 times higher. So why is that? It has an interesting reason, and of course, I don't want to tell it. You guys can search for why is that. You can more than search, ask someone. It's fun. So again, all that we are trying to do here is gain a reference point and build a perspective. Reference point for us is Somo. So basically your height. Okay, Somo is say in 6th grade, 5th or 6th or 7th grade. He's 1 meter tall. So imagine you guys being stacked up. 44 of you guys being stacked up. Say you guys stand in line. Oh yeah, I can tell it this way. Say you guys stand in line. Stretch your arms out. And the next person stands and he or she will stretch his or her arm out. So if you guys stand in this way, if you guys make 44 people stand this way, 44 people. So what do you end up with? We end up with the height of the building. Okay, so this will be the height of the building. Now, example 2. What is taller? Statue of Unity or its building? So Statue of Unity, the picture is over here, guys. It's a bit too small actually. I should have put a bigger one. So this is a Statue of Unity. This is the building. I think again that's too small. I think that's the building. This is a bit more than the building. It should have been over here. This is 100. This is 50. It should have been over here. That should be the height of the building. But anyways, somewhere here it would have been convenient. So this is Statue of Unity and this is a Jalapata. Jalapata is waterfall. Okay. Now you guys saw that picture, right? So basically Statue of Unity is written as 200 meters and this is 500 meters. The waterfall. So the Statue of Unity and the building. So here it's clearly the building is smaller and the Statue of Unity is bigger. So we can tell Statue of Unity is bigger, which is taller. Sorry, taller. How much taller? How much taller? So what can we tell with building as the reference? What can we tell? It's more than 2 times taller, is it not? So in this case, they're asking the value, exact value. So 200 meters minus 44. So that would be, you guys do the difference. It'll be 156 basically. So it's almost, actually not 2 times, my bad. 5 times, close to 5 times. A bit smaller than 5 times, but yeah. 44 into 5 is 220, is it not? So it's close to being 5 times. So imagine that you guys standing in this manner, right? So imagine standing in this manner and we have 5 such groups. That is the Statue of Unity's length. Does it make simpler? I mean, it becomes simple, is it not? If you guys are into marching and all of that for the parade, I think you should be. So when you guys are marching, what do you see? You guys see around maybe 10 to 20 people standing one behind the other. And left to right, say 3 people. So basically imagine that length and that length being 4 times. And that entire length, again, first is you imagine 10 people. That being 4 times will be 40 people. And this entire length being 5 times. That is the Statue of Unity's height. That's how tall it is. So we see that the height of the Statue of Unity is close to 4 times the height of SOMO's building. Actually, a lot more than 4 times, a bit lesser than 5 times. Do you guys agree? Now, how much taller is Kunikal's waterfall? Sorry, Kunchikal, what am I telling? Kunchikal waterfall. Kunchikal Jalapata actually. That's how I'm used to tell. So, than SOMO's building. Okay. So, Kunchikal's Jalapata is around how many? What is it? Yes. 500 minus 44. Or another way of talking about this is how many floors should SOMO's building have to be to match the height of the waterfall. It's another way of talking about. So see, which is more convenient in all of this? Which is more convenient? Anyways, the answer is some X value, maybe 10, 20, whatever it is. But point here is which is more convenient. When I tell 4 times, is it not easier to imagine? When I tell 5 times, it's much easier to imagine. But this weird number, in this case, it is around 456, right? It's a weird number. 456 is a weird number. While here, what is this? 156? That's a weird number. But if I tell, SOMO's building, right? It's 4 times bigger than Somos building. It's that tall. Like, I've not visited Statue of Unity, but I know I have visited Somos building. Somos building, I feel it's pretty tall, but 4 times bigger. That's kind of big. No, it's a single person's. I mean, it's a statue, obviously, single person in this case. So it's that being big. Matlab, you can imagine the fingers, the his slippers, or right, how big that they can be. You know, actually, if you web search that, you'll get photos, people standing next to the statue. You guys will get a perspective on that as well. But what I'm trying to have a conversation over here is us not visiting the place, but us visiting Somos building. I can communicate to you guys about how tall this statue is, or how tall this fall is. I mean, this fall is, come on, how much is that? So 40, manlo 50 itself, 10 times. So 10 times, actually it's more than 10 times, but let me take it 10 times. Technically 11 or 12 times, but okay, 10 times. 10 times taller than Somos building. Somos building itself is so high, 10 times than Somos building, that's humongous, right? The amount of power that it falls with, the sound it makes, and the calmness around that, it's beautiful, right, guys? So I hope you guys can start communicating to people with reference and perspective, which you already are, but start realizing that when you start talking in this manner and talking about, this is my reference and I'm giving you this perspective, when you start using those words and you understand those words, people will start looking at you as oh, he or she, this kid is grown up. They'll start telling you that. I can promise you. Okay, so one last time, reference is something which we already know of. With help of reference, we gain perspective with respect to size, with respect to scale, with respect to relationship. And we saw two examples. One was a simple example wherein we have a person of your height and each floor is 4 times of your height and the entire building is around 10 to how many times? 44 times the Somos height, if not 11 times of one floor, basically. Your house or whichever room you guys are sitting in, 11 times of that, 11 of those being stacked up, that is the height of Somos building. Now, I'm taking up Somos building and I'm looking at Statue of Unity. Statue of Unity is around 5 times bigger than whatever you just imagined. And 10, 11, 12 times bigger than that is our Jalapata. Okay. Kunchikal waterfall, basically. Kunchikal Jalapata, basically. That's 10 times bigger, 11 times bigger. That's a huge fall, is it not? Right? Place to see, things to feel. Yeah. Please have a good read. Try to gain and give a lot more example to people around you. Discuss this with your teachers and your friends.